I just want to take some time to share with you what we as a community believe about youth. Okay. So we have three core values here in TiVo, and they are youth, creativity, and justice. So youth is the first, and perhaps even the highest priority of all these three. And for as long as I have grown up here in TiVo, the rule of our pastoral work and evangelism in our church has always been to go young. Right? Never just older or our own age, but always go younger. And even if it means finances are difficult, even if youth require naturally more time, energy, and expenses, we will always want to build a church where the youth will outnumber the adults. Because it's worth it. Because if you can touch and make a difference in a youth's life, if you can inspire them to want to be like Jesus, you can literally transform the future. You know how many of you were moved by Riley and Junyu? And every time, yes, give that a round of applause. Every time I hear a youth story, and it isn't just a nice story, that's all. For me, it's really creating hope in my life. That the more youth we have that are like them, the better off the world is going to be one day. It's hope that what God is starting in their lives, He can multiply in countless others. And this is what happens when young people are believed in, invested in, and given a place to grow. So today, the evolution may look, if you look around, maybe a bit older in demographics, okay, for the moment. Because we've been through a rough season. But, if you come back here 5 years later, you'll be different, for sure. We are not here to build a youth ministry in an adult church. In TiVo, youth are the church. And this has and always will be our first core value. So there is a line we have that encapsulates our philosophy about youth. And it is, youth are leaders now, the way to our future. And I just want to break it down into two parts, okay? The first part is youths are leaders now. So in every generation, adults have looked at youth and called them rebellious, right? I've been there, you've been there, right? Now, there is some truth to that, okay? But we also should acknowledge, we say that because they are different from us. Because youth see the world as it is and imagine how it could be. Youth question what we as adults have accepted, and they want change, often for the better. And if we're honest, as adults in power, we don't always like change, right? And I'll admit there are days I get frustrated with the next generation too, but the moment I hear stories like Riley's and Junyu's, right, when I see that day to day, I am moved by their personal conviction. That they take action, they dream, not just for themselves, but for their generation. And it fills me with hope that they are being leaders right here, right now, in the way they are living their convictions. Now let's talk a little bit, right? My own generation, the millennials, right? Yeah. Okay, I gotta say next, right? We were labeled as the strawberry generation, right? A bit fragile, a bit easily bruised, right? And for a large part of it, for my personal experience, it's true, right? We were told that the world is our oyster, that we can do anything we set our mind to. But we were also trained by our parents and teachers to obey, to be filial, to fall in line. Which means while we are also fragile, we can adapt to anyone. So those of us who are not, the entitled millennials, right, we work hard and sacrifice for the people we follow. And for the churches we build, for the workplaces we serve. So we became the generation that moved the needle on teamwork, that talks about empathetic and inclusive leadership. And that was how we have shaped culture in our time. Now, every generation brings its own strengths. And what I see rising now in the next generation is something that we really need, is boldness. And whether you realize it or not, youth are already leading. Youth will already shape the future by their difference, their creativity, their passion. And from what I can tell of the youth coming up, they have such a capacity to fight for justice and take action. As I say this, I hope you get the sense of the vibe we have here in TiVo. For us, youth are not a problem to be solved. They are not a generation to be supported, quote unquote, right? We like to say, respect them. Don't just support them, respect them. And to every young person here, we respect you. We believe in your gifts. We believe your strengths are something we need. And our respect, of course, comes with a challenge, right? That you will rise up to be a youth worthy of that respect we have for you. To live with integrity, to step up and make an actual difference in the world. So the reason I am here today is because I, myself, was respected for who I was as a youth growing up. When I first came to church as a 17 years old, many years back, Pastor CJ and my leaders saw something in me that I couldn't. And I was just a youth who, I was passionate about music, but not particularly talented in it. But God saw that as an opportunity to raise me up on the worship team. Not because of talents, but because I had a raw humility or discipline from learning the craft. And God and leaders mentored my character, molded me through serving, and that's how I started rising up in church, to take on more responsibilities. And it's why myself and so many in the core team, the leaders, they are committed to building EVO 2.0, right? The Evolution 2.0. You see, when we were youth, CJ, the leaders that came before us, uncle and aunties, there, right there, they were the first people to believe in us, to invest in us, give us a home. They spent money and time to send us for exposure trips to grow us. And at the same time, they didn't just corner us or always give in to us. They expected us to be good people, to be people worthy of our dreams. And they respected us enough to hold us to higher standards. And they challenged us to make a difference, to lead, and taught us the skills we needed to lead. They trained us in leadership from a very young age, and it changed the trajectory of our lives. You see, the youth of today don't just need our support. They need our respect, if we are ever going to be able to impart confidence or teach them goodness. You see, if you didn't catch that, Riley used to be a quiet, unsure, wondering if her voice mattered. She didn't feel like she was a leader. But today, she's finding her voice and using it to lift others. Junyu, right in front of me, right, was once closed off and skeptical. And for a while, he only cared about his own passion and what was fun for him. But now, God and the people around him have inspired him to be bigger. He wants to lead, he wants to love, and he wants to serve. The two of them, or any youth, are not potential leaders, right? They are leaders now. Now, can I also say this? As we are believing in them, youth here have also changed our church. As they grow, they are showing us the way to the future. Which is the second part, right? The way to a better future. Now, for my generation, when we lead, in the time where we created school revivals, at one point in our church, while we were still at Jalan Pemimpin, our last Christmas gathering, we had 300 people. Majority of them youth coming to our church. And we started to think about how we wanted to use creativity. But we didn't want to be the typical churchy, unrelatable church dramas or art, right? We did plays about bullying in school. What happiness is about, even saving the environment. We wanted creativity that was truthful, not manipulative, that helped people see God that was relatable and honest. Then we moved to Lavender, right? And our generation kind of became, gradually young adults, right? We restarted, changed our world to make a difference in the community. And then we had panels like Into the Grey to rethink our Christianity and how we do community and build a more just world. And of course, most of you know, Revival Nation, our former name, became The Evolution. And because we evolved. And I think we are much better for it. And now the younger generation, the Gen Z, is doing the same, despite us being, in this state, prior to this, right, homeless, or in crisis the last 2 years. But from this same spirit, right, do you know that our youth started another initiative called Third Space? And it embodies the same heart of taking faith beyond just our four walls. Our youth plan and run these projects themselves, dreaming up ways to serve, to organize logistics, to lead, to mentor other youths to make a difference. So one of the things they did was this thing called Tiny Acts of Love. For example, right? It's a series of youth-run efforts like neighborhood food drives for lower-income households, beach cleanups, learning and performing sign language for the deaf community at Christmas to spread the joy, visiting elderly residents at St. Luke's hospitals to bring companionship and encouragement to them. Or their work together with Change Our World, where they form a youth contingent for the annual Run La My Friends fundraiser. You see, they did not just volunteering, but they were leading in this event and building friendships with migrant workers as well. You see, these are not just activities. They are evidence that you, our youth, when given space, don't just show up. You guys lead. And I want you to know we need you to keep leading. Not someday when you grow up, when you grow older, but now, in your schools, in your families, in your friendships. Now listen here, youth here. You are showing us what embodying Jesus should look like. Not just Christianity confined to just our comfortable four walls of the church. Or just giving out awards for you completed Bible reading, yeah, awesome. Or for attendance in Connect Group. But Jesus that is who we are in how we live every day. Caring about others, being generous with our time and money, stewarding the planet well, including those who are left out in the margins. You see, they are showing us who Jesus was, which was not just in a book form, but the Word of God made in flesh. You see, youth, as they lead in EVO, are showing us the way to a better future. And they are just the beginning. And I'm really excited to see what the evolution will become. You see, today, we say this again and again, more than just dedicating this space, we are really dedicating what God is going to do in the people, in you, the youths here. You see, this is your home, a place to grow, to encounter God, to be mentored, to be challenged. So I just say this to all the youth here, make this place your home. Let your faith be real here, something that lasts, not just you come every Sunday for gathering, but for life. Then go out and lead your generation with courage and love. You see, we believe in you. And we can't wait to see what God will do through you.